Okay, so this is my genius hour. So like first thing I thought of, after a while I started with looking at quarterbacks and stuff, and I realized, no one ever really looked at altitude and how that affects sports. So just some ways you may think about the shortness of breath. A lot of people when they like talk about playing sports in like Denver or in the Rockies, they always talk about like how athletes are getting pumped oxygen on the sideline because the air is so thin. So that's one way, but I don't know how I'm really gonna look at that. Another way was baseball home runs. People always talk about longest home run of the year. They always kind of exclude when it was hit in Colorado because the air is so thin, the ball travels a lot farther. But I figured that's been looked at a lot. I didn't want to do that. So we look at basketball shots and how they might travel a little bit farther than normal, might throw you off, but at the same time, you go back to this shortness of breath, they're gonna have more tired, like their legs are gonna be a lot more tired. So I kind of played stuff out. Then I get to NFL kickers, and I'm like, they always talk about on TV, oh, they're in Denver, so they're gonna be able to kick it farther now. They're gonna be able, maybe they can get the longest field goal this week. But so I thought, what really is the effect? Can I, make it, something we could actually see and like find out. So, how I started, I went through this kind of thing. That's supposed to be like nuts. Whoops. And so then I kind of went through the what can I do from that. That's how I got to the kickers. There's other couple systems in place for the other stuff, which is why I didn't really choose them. So far, there hasn't really been a way that I could find that you can measure the altitude's effects on the kickers. So I'm like, no, I want to try something new. And also, the kickers play such a big role in the game. If any of you have followed the NFL, you've seen this year. A lot of NFL kickers have actually been missing a lot of field goals this year. The extra points, which has been a lot different. So I thought this would be a good time to look into this. All right, so here's the equation I made. So here's your altitude. You're going to take it to the 14th root. I know it sounds kind of crazy. You're going to multiply it by the kicker's career long, which will kind of give you a boundary set so they can't make it so, you can only make it so far. And then you're going to factor in the kicker's career field goal percentage, and it should give you the chance they will make any given field goal, not considering distance necessarily, at the altitude they're at. So, an example here, Justin Tucker, who's the kicker for Baltimore Ravens, right now is currently probably the best in the NFL. Say he's kicking Kansas City against Nolan Dossel's beloved Chiefs.
And winner.
for the game winner. Alright, so his career long is 61. He's kicking at 909 feet. And his career field goal percentage is 89.80 for that to decimal form. So you plug that in. I'm not going to make any of you plug it in, I already did it. It's about, chance he'll make it is about 89.1. So very similar to his field goal percentage because that's about where most stadiums are sitting at, is around 1,000 feet. So if you get into higher altitudes, you get into like Denver, that's going to go up. So Justin Tucker in Denver, a similar thing is about 94% because the air is so much thinner, the ball travels a lot better. That's how it works. So how this helps, use in game prep for coaches, they can look into it and be like, all right, how is my kicker going to perform better with these conditions being the altitude? Now, obviously, we'll get into it next. There's other factors. Shows how the altitude changes the game, not only in how players get short of breath or anything, but how the kickers and how well the ball travels, and that it's not always the same wherever you are. And then shows the importance of kickers and how kickers are people too, as much as I hate to say it. So the pitfalls, it doesn't really account for the distance of the kick, which is one thing I'd like to look into. Doesn't account for where the long field kicker was. So like if the kicker's longest field goal they ever made was in Denver, it doesn't account for that into their long, which is something else you can look into. And then other factors such as wind, field conditions, like whether it's on turf or grass. I haven't been able to get those in, but there's a way to get wind in, which is something I'd like to do. So in conclusion, the current equation that I'm using, the Genius Hour, how it went, I thought the what I came up with was pretty good, but I know that there's still more that I'd want to do. Looking into it in the long run, factor in some of the stuff that I showed in the previous slide, and you know, Genius Hour as a whole, you know, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every Friday being able to work on something I enjoy, even though it may bore most of you. I apologize. But yeah, so I thought it went well. Just a little more time, and I could have hopefully added some more things into that. That would have made it a little more accurate and useful. So that is my Genius Hour.